G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and today I want to talk about how you win a photograph competition. That's right, you know them, you've seen them, everyone does them, and I have won one which gives me a tiny bit of credibility to talk about this, and so I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned. I want to talk about the quest that I'm about to go on, and I want to unpack the process of it, as it can be really quite exciting. Now, the reason, and I'll be completely honest, the reason I enter a photography award is to win money to buy better cameras. Yes. So they talk about exposure and all that kind of thing. I think if you want exposure and you want your winnings of a competition to really establish you, you've got to do a couple of things. You've got to win several in the same category. You've got to win ones that are connected to the big exposure sites. So landscape, Australian photography, for example, or different international things. And as soon as you do that, the competition is right up. And so you have to have an absolute banger of an image to enter these competitions. And the winners I see of these things are usually full-time landscape photography or wedding photographers or people that do their craft full-time. That's all they do. They're brilliant at it. And they go about capturing that incredible image that takes days, if not weeks or months to capture. And it's well worth their winning. So congrats to them. But what about the rest of us? Well, here's the interesting thing. There are thousands and thousands of photography competitions out there that I thought it would be interesting to share what I've learnt, that you might enter one and let me know how you go. And if you've won one and you've got things to contribute to this video of like, oh, make sure you do this, please put them in the comments below. We can have a really good chat there. And if you're watching this for the first time, head to the comments and see if there's other gold that people have shared. A little bit of my background, I've entered a ton of different competitions, and here on my website, you'll see some of the different acclamations I've got. I've got top 100, top 50, top 20. I've come a runner-up a couple of times, a couple of highly commended, a couple of commended, and so on and so forth, in a variety of topics, because if you know me by now and you've been watching this channel, you know I enjoy a large range of photography, which may be partly to my detriment. I realize that, but it's also, I would go crazy if the only thing I could ever take a photo of was a landscape, for example. Hence why I'm not a particular genre of photography, because I think if you learn your skills about your camera and you have a keen eye, you can actually apply that to any field of photography, which is actually what I'm currently doing in terms of family shoots. I'm going to get into some family shoots, and that's based on the fact that, well, I reckon I can do it. All right, so before I talk about how I think you can win a competition, I want to talk about the process. The process is hard work. That's why there's not a lot of people that enter photography. That's why people didn't click on this video to watch it. It's why some of you are like, oh, but I don't know about that, because it's a long process. First of all, you got to find the competition. Once you find the competition, you have to meticulously read the instructions and make sure your entry fulfills the criteria and the way you enter does. Because sometimes they're like, put a separate document for the captions and the explanation, your settings, and then make sure your file name's like this. And then you've got to find your photo or go take your photo. And then sometimes you've got to pay a fee to enter it. Sometimes you've got to be free, you enter it, and then you may never hear anything back. Or what happened to me when I won, I had somebody contact me and say, congratulations, you've won. They were a member of the public who saw that I'd won, and it had been published that I'd won before they even told me that I won. I was pretty stoked that I won, mind you, but it's interesting the way these things can unfold. So how do you win? And let me tell you then after that, my you how do you win? This is what I've learnt. First of all, you need an amazing image. You need an image or a set of images that you feel proud of and that you go, that is an elite standard. So that's what you've got to achieve first. And if there are imperfections in the photo, you've either got to go back and take it, or you've got to change the imperfections. It's got to be bang on. Now that's the first thing. So make sure you're proud of your work. The second thing is you need to follow the instructions meticulously. You can get disqualified because you don't follow the instructions, or you can present something that you think is amazing, but the people who have put on the competition, that's not what they're after. So follow the instructions. Thirdly, I think you've got to be creative. There are millions and billions and trillions and zillions and I don't know how many photographs out there. You got to look at something in a particular way that captures people and draws people into a story of something unfolding. You've got to present something that people cannot stare away from. They're glued to it. They want to look into it more. So if you don't enjoy looking at one of your images, if you're like, oh, I'm kind of sick of this, you're not sucked into it, nobody else is going to care about it at all. So keep that in mind. And I think finally, and this is kind of a cool little one, enter the competition as late as you can. Now, those of you that are running competitions that are watching this are just like, no, don't tell them that. Because what happens is one of two things. One, judges look at all the entries as they come in and they get used to them. And so the latter entries, and I've heard of a ton of people winning competitions because they've entered late. So they're fresh to the viewership of the judges. Also, sometimes they extend the deadline. Now, when you extend a deadline, it basically means that everything up to that deadline has not been as impressive or as desirable as they'd like, right? There's just not enough to choose from. And so you wait till right at the end and you might get an extension. If you get an extension, wait till mid to late of the extension to submit. But if you don't get an extension, submit at the end of the waiting period. And I think it actually increases your chances that you will win the competition or at least do fairly well in it. Now to my quest. The quest. I am in the next year going to enter as many photograph competitions as I can. But I'm going to enter as many as I can, and I'm going to see how many of them I can win or rank in or rate in. But I don't want to pay for them, so I'm going to enter the free ones. But I don't know where the free ones are, so I'm going to search for the free ones. The exception might be that if there is a cracker of a competition that I reckon I can crush, then I will pay for that. But I really don't want to pay more than like $20 an image. There you go. Should we see how we go? Let's give it a fair crackerjack, and I will report back sporadically as to the success of this campaign. So stay tuned. Please comment below, subscribe, like, all the rest of that beautiful gear, and I'll see ya next video. Bye.